So, like I said, Ricky Bobby Ray, Bobby Ray Ricky, and Ray Ricky Bobby, they mourned the death buggy for like 3 days, like their favorite hunting dog had died. Then they had to snap out of it because the county fair was quickly approaching. As a consolation prize, they found this old Jeep, but the motor was about half blown up, and they knew they probably didn't have a chance of winning the mud run with it, but because they had to add some motor honey in it in order to get one good run out of it. So they put their hopes in the Crash Up Derby, their favorite part of the county fair. Now, if you've never been to a county fair Crash Up Derby, you have to know they have three divisions: the light, the medium, and the heavy. Now, the heavy division was like the superstar, if you can call it that, of the Crash Up Derby, and that was also what they was putting all their hopes in. So in the light class, they had like one of them old Chevettes, look really small. Medium class, they had one of them old box 80s Oldsmobiles. They knew they were solid, but, nothing to write home about. They really wanted to destroy the Rayburn brothers, though, in the heavy class. So Bobby Ray Ricky come across an 87 Cordova, and it was like their prayers were answered. I mean, this thing was giant. It was like a boat. The engine was insanely powerful and had all the weight they could ever want. The only problem was it didn't have a front bumper. This was their Moby Dick, the Great White Whale, as they called it. They knew they could destroy the competition if they could only find a bumper. They knew without a front bumper, the car that they had about as much chance of winning the Crash Up Derby as the Toothless Man in the corn and the cob eating contest. Now, Ricky Bobby Ray knew a guy who might have one, and it was in like one of the farthest reaching places of the county. So we set off early in the morning, and Ricky Bobby Ray only sipped a beer or two because he promised my mom he wouldn't get hammered while he's behind the wheel if I was in the car. Bobby Ray Ricky, on the other hand, was already a six-pack in before we even left the house. Or as he put it, a quarter of a case. In the country where I was raised up, alcohol is measured differently, especially beer. So, it was all measured in cases or relative to cases. So a 12-pack was half a case, a six-pack was a quarter of a case. Anything less than a six-pack, you were just getting started. Now, when I say this junkyard was in a remote place of the county, it seemed like we drove all day just to get there. And, some people refer to my county as the a-hole of the state. Well, this place would be the a-hole of the a-hole because we went through miles of old washed-out creek gravel roads, dirt, everything else until we finally got there. So we pull up, and Ricky Bobby Ray gets out to go talk to this old man, finds out he does have the bumper we're looking for, and it's way up in the back corner of the junkyard. And the old man just laughed. He said, "I don't need a dog." He said, "I got a goat." We all thought he was joking. So we start weaving our way through the junkyard, trying to get to it, and then we'll come across this clearing, and there it was. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking about, little lowercase goat. No, I'm talking about uppercase G, uppercase O, uppercase A, uppercase T type of goat. It was like the stuff that they made Billy Goat Gruff out of. This thing was massive. Like its back was well over Ricky Bobby Ray's waist. It had these huge horns, this big beard, these what looked like red eyes to me. I mean, it looked like if the goats who pulled Thor's chariot had had a baby, and then with that baby, they gave it steroids. This thing was the biggest goat I'd ever seen in my life. And it was mean. It just stared at us with those red eyes and then started butting this car it was tied up to because they had tied a log chain around its neck to this car they had up on blocks. Well, it was rocking the car back and forth. And then it charged at us, but it ran out of chain. It just sat there bawling at us. By this time, Bobby Ray Ricky was already over a half case in and pretty much hammered. Ricky Bobby Ray says to Bobby Ray Ricky, I bet you $5 that goat can kick your ass. So he started getting real mad. And he goes, I ain't afraid of nothing, especially no damn billy goat. Ricky Bobby Ray says, we'll take the bet. Bobby Ray Ricky says, okay, bet you $5 I kick that goat's ass. He goes, watch this, Sean. I'm going to go kick that goat's ass. So he stays within the goat's range, and this thing comes charging. And I knew Bobby Ray Ricky was drunk, but I didn't know exactly how drunk because he tried some kind of karate kick, crane kick, and he got his boot stuck in between his horns. Now, in his defense, Karate Kid was his favorite movie, and it'd come on the night before. In hindsight, he'd probably been better off trying to sweep the leg because his boot was stuck. It stops for a second, like he can't believe anyone could be that stupid. And then it goes ape. It knocks him down and starts dragging him around the yard, like bucking, kicking, and everything else. And Bobby Ray is hollering. So me and Ricky Bobby Ray try to go in to save him. So Ricky Bobby Ray grabs his boot and pulls out of the goat's horns and then rodeo clowns it until I can grab Bobby Ray Ricky by the arms and drag him to safety. Bobby Ray Ricky is moaning and holding his leg and says, I think the damn goat broke my leg. Ricky Bobby Ray walks over to him and holds out his hand. Bobby Ray Ricky reaches up to take it, and Ricky Bobby Ray slaps his hand away. He goes, I ain't trying to help you up, so I want my $5. So Bobby Ray Ricky is mad. He goes, ain't you worried about my leg? And Ricky Bobby Ray says, I ain't the dumbass who tried to fight a goat. And that's just the beginning of some of the stories I have. Hope you enjoyed.